Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jim stuck in the Midwest and off on, well, not so sunny California today. We've got Janik. We managed to drag you out of all that stuff going on back there in the shop. I know you're super busy. So first of all, I wanted to say first shout out is going to go to Janik. And let's see who we've got here today. We've got Angela. We've got Townie, not Tony, Townie. And he's from the yard office break room. So
cool.
That's pretty cool. He's doing some serious operating. We got Christopher. We got Marvin. Steven. Hey, welcome aboard, Steven. Christopher. Some guy named Vic. Welcome, Vic. We got Kevin.
Vic Yoder. He's I know Vic.
Yeah, I bet you he's out your way, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've heard he's pretty good with some locomotives, model locomotives, and scenery and stuff.
He's actually working on one for me right now.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see some of his work here, not too distant future. We got Chris, Steve, James, Brad. Welcome aboard, guys. Sean.
Hey, guys.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Man, so Janik, thanks for coming on board. I know you were super busy with some stuff last week, and I know this week we've got a full show. I've got stuff that we need to talk about for January pre-orders. Can you believe January's half over?
No. Seems like it's almost still 2020 because nothing's really changed since then. But hopefully things get better soon. And
yeah, I think they will. I think that's just, it's always kind of tough, that transition from one year into the next. And 2020 definitely got a lot of us by surprise. But hey, you know what? It's a new year, and I know you've been busy on some new stuff. And man, so we've got some freight cars we're going to talk about. And we're also going to talk about some containers that I know you guys were working on back there. Let me see if I can bring these up for us. And while I bring that up, I mean, man, you've been super busy back there, haven't you?
I have been. I wish I could share more with the group about the things I'm working on. Some top secret stuff, of course, but we got some new products, new locomotives coming out in 2021, and I'm been looking them over and make sure that they are as good as can be, especially if they're Genesis 2.0. So
I tell you, that Genesis 2.0 is amazing. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But man, yeah, you're right. I know you guys have been busy back there with the new releases and stuff. First thing I brought up with these HO, these are under the Roundhouse brand. These HO smooth side box cars. These are pretty nice. I mean, you've got a pretty good range of cars here for different eras, but you're talking pretty much what, the 1960s into the 70s, Janik?
Yeah, pretty much with these cars, because they still have roof locks. They have high brake wheels. So it's a car that started to become common in the 1950s with the plug doors, and they lasted quite a while after that. And these paint schemes, there are definitely some 60s and 70s versions that we have here. Yeah,
that Banger on a Rustic, that's a real famous paint scheme. Of course, that Rio Grande, that's really sharp. And I can't forget the Canadian Pacific with the multi-mark, the little, some people call it the Pac-Man logo. I mean, great stuff.
Yeah, we got corrected on that, calling it the multi-mark, and I think the green cars were newsprint service. The CP Rail guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but those were in assigned service. They had red cars, yellow cars, green cars, just all different colors. So
yeah, I believe you're right. Growing up as a kid, not too far from the paper mills, you'd see those quite a bit up in northern New England at some of the paper mills. So I believe you're right. At my age, though, memory isn't that the first thing that goes?
Unless someone tells us otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now, the funny thing is about these Roundhouse cars. I mean, these are great. The thing I like about the Roundhouse cars is they're perfect for operating. The Genesis cars, don't get me wrong, they are beautiful cars. They've got all that detail, especially some of the tank cars that we've done. But, if you're going to go ahead and, do an operating session, and maybe you've got some younger guys you're trying to get into operations or just to modeling in general, and you're not quite sure, you don't want to lose all those detail parts, these are the cars for you. They look gorgeous, but they're not so super detailed that they're so delicate.
Well, maybe you need to move your trains around. You transport them in those A-line boxes, or those white carrying cases, and you're taking them in, you're putting them back in, and you don't want stirrup steps that are going to break off if you look at them funny. You don't want all this underbody detail that's going to get caught up and just get torn off anyways. So that's what these are for.
Yeah, that's a good point, because, when we do, for most of the country in Canada, once we do start getting back to some type of point where we can actually start operating at other people's houses, or maybe you've got a club layout that you visit, these are perfect for that, because, the Genesis ones, they are great on your home layout. Don't get me wrong. But maybe our fans are a lot more delicate than I am. But that's what I love about these Roundhouse models. Now, while I'm thinking of it too, I was our friend Tony Cook over at White River. He never disappoints. Every time we come out with new stuff, he's got some pictures. I want to share these with you.
How could one guy have so many train pictures? That's not fair, man. What about the rest of us?
I know. It always amazes me. All right. Let's see. Make sure you guys can see that. Check that out. So let's see. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this. We're going back to my neck of the woods here, back in the day. So this is obviously a D&H. It looks just like the one that we're offering, and this was photographed in September of 1974, and it looks pretty clean there. Although the one in front of it doesn't look so clean. I think they cleaned those that one box car between the two dirty ones, but
yeah,
really
I don't know.
cool.
There's some good weathering ideas, or you can take it right out of the box and use it as it is.
I mean, that's pretty clean. Now the other one, remember we talked about the multi-mark earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, this one's got a little bit of weathering to it, a little bit of some damage and such, but pretty still new. This was taken in 1989, and believe it or not, this was caught all the way down in Addison, Texas.
Oh, wow.
Which seems like a long ways from home for that newsprint car. I mean, that's pretty cool. But
that is pretty cool.
And the other thing too is we're offering these cars in N scale too.
Yeah, that's right. It's and the N scale car is, in my opinion, even a little bit nicer than the HO. It's a newer piece of tooling, and it's a Pullman standard car, and it looks great. So
I'll show that too, so that you guys can see that we're not lying. We actually do have this. Let me see. N scale. Here they are. Of course, I've probably got some of those on my wish list. I can definitely see the Bangor and a Rustic, the Canadian Pacific, and the D&H would definitely find their way on my layout. Probably even the Pennsylvania. But yeah, I mean, and again, I don't think we say it often enough. I mean, these N-scale cars, like you said, they're absolutely beautiful. The printing on these is really sharp. And, the body-mounted couplers, the metal wheel sets, you can run these on Code 55, which looks stunning in N-scale. Just great cars. So I'm just while I'm saying that, I'm looking to see if anybody has any comments or questions on either the HO scale or anything. Yeah, Tony, we've got N scale. Yeah, we haven't forgotten it. And I swear I have nothing to do with that, even though I'm an avid N scale guy. I have nothing to do with that. So,
and by that he means that he calls me every week and bugs me to make more N scale stuff. But you know what? That's fine. I mean, N scale is not an insignificant part of the market. It's probably the
Not
second
anymore.
popular scale as far as sales are concerned. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it used to be, as going back into the 1950s, HO scale was kind of the second. It was two rail O. And
yeah,
O
that's
was very common right after World War II, and HO was kind of the new small scale. And when N scale came out in the 60s, it was kind of a novelty, type of thing. But it's slowly gotten up there, and like you said, it's one of the big guys now. No pun intended. So we've got the great selection, same road names, and of course, like with the HO scale, we're offering them in multiple road numbers, so you can really make up a really nice train just with these. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So the other thing that we're talking about now, these are kind of like you were saying earlier, these are kind of 60s, 70s, maybe even early 80s, depending on what you're doing with your layout. But these are predominantly in the 60s, where they've got the roof walks and the higher brake wheel and things of that nature.
Nah, 1960s was really the last stand for some of these, big billboard style paint schemes. And after that, you start to see a lot more Spartan looking schemes, just a logo and a name. But like the BAR, I mean, that's going to catch your eye no matter where it goes.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's a cool car, and they were, even when I was growing up, they were still all over New England, and I'm sure they made their way all the way out to the Midwest and maybe even further. But definitely some cool stuff. So we've got some really good older stuff, but we haven't forgotten about the modern guys out there. We've got some great things coming up in both HO and N as far as containers are concerned, right?
Yeah, well, before we go on, though, I just saw a comment pop up, and I thought we could spend a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Glenn Power Williams there, he's like, hey, what do we do if the local hobby shop is closed because of a lockdown? Or maybe there is no local hobby shop for you. Our suggestion in that case would be to visit one of the many, wonderful online retailers that are out there that carry our products, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We used to have, I don't know if it's still there, we used to have something on the Athearn website that would help you find a retailer. Do you know if that's still working, Jim? Or
that's still there. Yeah, you can go to that and put in your zip code and do a search by radius as far as you want to drive. I know some of us that are in the Midwest or parts of the Northwest might not be too close to a hobby shop. Now, ironically enough, my local hobby shop is about almost an hour away. So if you don't want to drive, you can also, like Janik was saying, you can see some dealers that we have that sell our products online, make it a little bit easier for you. So there's definitely options. But if you have any problems with that, go to horizonhobby.com as well. And there's a hobby shop finder there as well. And you might be able to find somebody that if they don't have it in stock, they'd be more than happy to order it to get it in stock for you.
Yeah, and there are some hobby stores that are closed for walk-ins right now because of lockdowns, but they're still doing mail orders and they still have online storefronts. So there's that too. Just depends on the store, depends on the location. Everything's a little bit not by the book these days. So.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. There's, I know Illinois and of course California. I know you guys are getting really hit hard with the COVID. We've got a few shops. They're not quite local to me, but what they'll let you do is you can order online and pick it up, like curbside pickup. Mm-hmm. If you're not into ordering online, you can also call them, and they'll do a curbside pickup. So, yeah, there's definitely some some ways for you to get in touch with a dealer. And good catch on that, Janik, and good question. Thanks for asking that. So let me bring the containers up, because there's some, we didn't get to really go into depth about it at the beginning of the month. This will give us a chance to kind of talk about these. There is something in here that I think definitely is going to have a lot of people's interest, but let's go through these. I remember you said the Ocean Network Express. That was one that we got a lot of requests for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, we've already done 2 runs of it, and I think other model railroad companies have done that as well, and yet it seems like you just can't find them anywhere. And if you do find them, you have to pay an arm and a leg for them. So, hey, you know what? If we notice something like that, we're going to make more of them. And this time we did 2 sets of each. So a total of 6 numbers on each container. Now, not everybody really cares about having all different numbered containers, but if you do, then now you have even more choices as far as numbers you can put out there.
Yeah, very cool. And the one that has got my eye, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Tell us about this special one down here at the very bottom.
Yeah, I mentioned it briefly when I was here last time, but one of our artists is actually a part-time longshoreman down at the Port of Long Beach. And he was driving around one day in his truck, and he noticed this thing. And you know, he couldn't actually stop and take pictures of it, but he was able to, you know, locate pictures of it and get permission to use them. And we saw this and we're like, wow, you know, talk about something that's going to stand out on your stack train going by. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
To paint a rainbow container, but hey, it's for a good cause. It's pride. You know, the rainbow colors is you know, signifying support of LGBTQ rights and all that. So it's a good cause. It's a neat container. It's a way that you can make some people look at your train as it goes by and be like, what the heck?
Oh, it's so cool because, you know, you don't normally associate, like you said, the containers as brightly colored or different. Usually, you know, you'll see a blue one or a, you know, the one containers kind of fill that void with that really cool pink color. But this one is, I mean, you'll definitely get noticed with this. And I mean, the thing that still strikes me, it's almost too perfect, that the prototype pictures that we've got there. I mean, that thing has got to be brand spanking new right there.
I think so. It probably hasn't even made one trip yet. And the other cool thing about that Maersk set is that since there's only one Pride container in the world, we're not going to do 3 of them. So you get a nice variety pack there of the Maersk schemes. Both of those other schemes are still out there in quantity, and it's a nice way to bolster your train or your collection.
That's very cool. And I mean, if you've got an HO stack train set, yeah, you're definitely going to want to pick that up. I mean, that will, you know, the cool thing about that is when you, let's say you're at a train show when we get back to normal and you've got that on your stack train, you're running it, that's going to get attention. You know, kids are going to see it. The wives are going to see it. Everybody's going to see it, not just the train guys. And they're like, wow, that's really cool. What's the story about that? And then, you know, you've got an open dialogue with someone about that might not necessarily be into trains. So it's really cool.
Yeah, they might even have a website now, I think, for that container. I could be wrong, but there might be more information out there about it than what we have right now. So,
no, very cool. And, you know, once again, we've got these in HO. We didn't leave out the N scale, guys. And just to prove it, I'm going to go ahead and put the N scale versions up there too. And N scale, the good thing about N scale, boy, if you're part of like One Track or T Track, or not so much T Track, but more like Fremo N, N Track, anything like that, And one advantage you have in N scale is you can make some really believable stack trains. And so let me bring this up here real quick in containers.
Yeah, and intermodal facilities too, because trying to do that in HO scale, you just need so much room to make it look right. But N scale, it's definitely possible to make it look right with the room that you have.
It really is, yeah. And so these are, like the HO scale ones. They're 40-foot high cube containers. We're offering them in the same road names, especially the special Maersk is how you say it. If is that correct, Janet?
Maersk, yes.
Maersk, yeah. I don't want to get my East Coast in there. Make people scratch their heads. What's he trying to say? So, no, very cool, and very economical, very easy way to make a really believable stack train in either scale. But man, N scale, you could do some really cool stuff there. So yeah, you guys have been busy, and I heard a rumor too that the SD80s, the SD80 Max are in stock.
I've seen some posts about them on Facebook, yeah, and
yeah,
people showing their models off, and they seem to be pretty happy with them.
Well, I know a specific person that was pretty happy with his. Let me see if I can find a picture of it here. Let's see. I'll have to get back to that later, but
okay.
Somebody that I'm sure has some feedback on that. I know the SD80s are really, a lot of people were asking for them, so it's nice to see see those finally come into stock. One last thing I wanted to talk to you before. I know you've got a to-do list as long as that door behind you, but one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is the SD70M-2s. True, we've done them in the past, but these are not the same. This is not your grandfather's SD70M-2.
This is not your younger self's SD70M-2. Yeah, it's true. We've done basically a full-on Genesis 2.0 upgrade, and actually, I got a couple photos that I could show you guys real quick because I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off here in a couple minutes and get back to what I normally do all day, which is stare at the screen and look at other kinds of trains. But let me just give me 1 second here. I took some, well, not took. I was going through the engineering drawings, and that's what the engineers send us. They show us what the thing looks like in 3D, and they're really cool to look at. So let me put some of those up right now.
All right.
I'll show you guys a little bit more about what you're sort of getting with this new version here. So this is the new underframe for the SD70M-2. So as you can see, it's similar to the old underframe, but there's a couple key differences here too. Over in this area, we've added some weight, and up here as well. One of the complaints with the old models was that they didn't quite pull as much as people thought they should have, and so we came in here, we added some weight to it. So we improved the pulling ability. We upgraded the sound with the dual cube speakers here. Of course, the Tsunami 2 decoder. And then the really interesting thing is the electrical contacts. You see this set of 8 contacts right here. There's another one here with 4. Those are for all the lights. And what that means is that when you take the shell off, there's no wires going between the shell and the body. And that makes it really, really easy to work on these if you need to open it up and lubricate it, or just do some routine maintenance on it. Just a really cool feature.
That is cool. It's more of a modular type stuff.
And then here, I want to show you guys the working ground lights there. There's the LED right there. So these will come on with track power, and they're always on, just like the real ones. And then right here, of course, if it opens, there you see these separate etched steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as you know, on the old models, they were just molded on there. So these are separate etched steps on there. So they'll look really good when they come out.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much engineering that you guys do back there that sometimes we forget. And that's why I wanted to kind of talk about the SD70M-2s a little bit today. And of course, we've got some exciting road names in this release too.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
That is, well, that's cool. So making, like you were saying, that modular type setup, that's something that we've seen, even in the automotive industry for a little bit. That just makes maintenance so much easier. I mean, yeah, it's HO, yeah, it's a big locomotive, but boy, sometimes, when you have to deal with all those wires for the LED lights, it's like, trying to wrestle a armful of garter snakes or something, trying to get everything under there. Yeah. You don't want to pinch a wire, and so very cool. Yeah, the one that I'm really excited about, and as much as I love Vermont Rail and I love that paint scheme, the one that I think is going to get everybody's attention is the Heritage unit that we're coming out with. And
that's right. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. We're doing a Heritage unit in this run that we've never offered before. So.
That's right. Now I've got some more pictures from our friend Tony. He got some. Apparently, they went out of the office one day, did some rail fanning. Let's see if I can get. There we go. There's a nice, clean SD70M-2 rolling through the countryside. Looks like they took this one. This picture was taken. Got out my notes here. It was May 8th of 2006.
Oh, wow. That thing was not very old at that time.
No, it wasn't. Very, very clean locomotive there. Yeah. Looks like a nice day in May. So, I wish I was there. A little cold here. This looks more like what Illinois looks like right now. This was taken in October that same year, 2006. It's got a little bit of road grime on it now. I only see 2 units there, so I'm not sure what the story here is, if this was some type of helper service or,
could be, yeah,
light power move or what was going on. But yeah, this was 2006. And then I think we've got one from a year later in 2007. Kind of a cool shot. Looks like it's taken on a bridge, yeah. And yeah, for 2007, it's still, at least from this angle, pretty clean. So we're going to be doing these Norfolk Southern versions like you see here, which is a really nice scheme. And then what Janik and I were talking about earlier, the Heritage, this one here, man, I cannot wait to see this. I have not seen it in person yet. Have you?
No, I haven't seen anything yet. Just some really nice photos of it, and made me wish that I was there.
It's really cool. I mean, it's funny. It's one of those paint schemes, I guess, when it was real common back in the 70s and such, people didn't really pay it too much attention. People were like, oh, I miss the old, classic scheme, fill in the blank. And now it's been gone for so long, we look at it, oh man, nostalgia sets in, and it's cool to see these modern locomotives with a throwback paint scheme like this. And I think CN did a great job on doing these. It's not a fake locomotive. There's plenty of pictures of them all over. I think somebody was there somebody on Athearn staff that caught one of these out in California?
I don't remember. If this thing's ever been to California, I'm not sure. So I'm usually the last person to find out about that kind of thing. I was like, oh, hey, this thing's in SoCal. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it's in Barstow and it's headed east. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's yeah, we're getting some yeehaws out there from our audience. So yeah, if you're digging the and I mean myself, personally, I might not do the modern as much, but I'm definitely ordering one of these. I mean, this is cool. It's and it'll be even more special when you actually get a picture of it. I'm sure at some point one of us should make that a contest. Who's going to get the picture first, Jim or Janik?
Well, you got a lot more chance of seeing it in your neck of the woods, I think. So.
That's true. That is true. Very cool locomotive. And, we saw some comments earlier about the both the HO and the N scale containers. Yeah, they're going to sell quick. So don't wait. Get to your dealer, get to your online dealer and order those. Pre-order them now because they're going to go fast. They always do. And you hate to be that guy that shows up at the hobby shop and you see your buddy and he's like, hey, what's going on? Hey, I just picked up this new release from Athens. Well, that's cool. Can I get some of those? Well, they're sold out.
Yeah.
That's happened.
We've all been.
Yeah, we got on good authority. It's been up and down the Champagne sub a few times. So at some point, I'm going to have to dust off the Railfan Jeep and take her out on a road trip. But
if you want to see this thing, then head to Champagne.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just too much of a wuss when it comes to that Midwest cold.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't really blame you, honestly. I probably wouldn't appreciate it either. So.
Yeah, not my favorite time of year, that's for sure. But come June, I'll be out there rail fanning again. It'll be fun. So,
all right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to take my leave and get back to it. So, thanks for having me. And
yeah, thanks, Janet.
Hopefully,
thanks for coming on board. We'll probably see you again. Not too long from now. I know you're busy, but you've always got some great updates for us. We appreciate that, and thanks for bringing those those CAD designs to show everybody that not only are we doing the 70M-2s and really cool paint schemes, including that heritage unit, but it's a new beast underneath that shell. It's a really cool improvements that the Athearn team's been working on.
It is, yeah. It's a lot more than just what you'd see on the surface. I can't wait to get them out and see how well they pull. Versus the old ones. I think it's going to be a pleasant surprise.
Definitely will. Well, Janik, thanks again for your time, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna make the rest of the people here stick it out with me and make them suffer a little longer.
All right, take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, Janik. All right, it's always a treat to have Janik on board. He's back there working away on stuff. So, and you know what? He does see your emails. He does see your comments. Just like everything. I mean, it takes him a little bit to get back because he is a busy man. So, talking about Athearn news now. We've got some stuff that I wanted to show you. We've got some new things coming around the corner. So we've talked a little bit about some modern stuff, but we've got some Genesis GP40-2s that are going to be coming into stock here real soon. If you were part of the pre-order, we announced these back last December, or December 2019 rather. And if you're on the pre-order, be looking to hear from your dealer soon. These are going to be in stock in a couple of weeks. If not, you might want to get on the phone now. And I'm going to show you some. I'm not going to show you all of them. But I know the guys in California were getting me some pictures. So let me bring this back up again. And let's see. All right. Oh, screen stopped. Let's try this again. There we go. All right, check this out. Here's the Norfolk Southern GP40-2. The guys in California were we're checking these out. And like I said, we're going to be getting these probably in the next, about the next 2 weeks. So any of these that you see, if you're not part of the pre-order, call your dealer now. These GP40-2s won't last long. They never do. But really nice Norfolk Southern unit here. Check out the Western Pacific. This is a cool paint scheme. We're gonna, it's gonna have the Western Pacific details. Look at the plow. I mean, really cool. And of course, we can't forget Southern Pacific. Check out the details that are here. They removed the gyro lights. They've plated over the old cab lights, the air conditioner. All of those things are taken into account when the Athearn team does their research. So like I said, these GP40-2s, they're not going to hang around long. We will have a few in stock, but they will not last long. And you're also going to want to see, the next few weeks, we'll probably be seeing some reviews of these too. So definitely check these out. We talked about them in December of 2019. They'll be hitting the dealer shelves here real soon. So I got a comment out there. Are you hiding something behind you, James? Maybe. We'll see. So we were also talking about the SD80s. I couldn't keep Janik on long enough, but Janik was running this one. This is the EMD demonstrator. Those are in stock. Now, last week, we talked about the SD80s briefly, and they were not yet in stock. They literally got into our warehouse, I think, on Wednesday. And so your dealers have them now. If you're part of the pre-order, then you've probably already gotten your phone call, and you're probably enjoying your SD80 Max right now. If you like the EMD one, or maybe you like the as-delivered Conrail one, of course, we're doing them in CSX and Norfolk Southern. If you want any one of those, give your dealer a call or your favorite online retailer and get them now. They are not going to last long because we've had a lot of demand on these SD80s. So definitely don't wait. These are going to be very, very popular. So some more news that I've got for you. And like I said, I told you we were going to have a busy, busy day. In fact, I had to write notes down because there's so much going on. So SD75Ms. We had some folks asking about the SD75Ms. They wanted to know if they were in stock. So I figured, what better use of our time is, let's find out. Let's go to Athearn.com. Let's find out. And there's specific locomotives we all like. I'm just going to pick one out there that's kind of cool. Let's go with a part number ATHG70650. Let's go with that. So let's share screens here so you can see what I'm doing. This will help you guys out whenever there's a new release. You can go ahead and, all right. You guys see my screen okay? In fact, let's do this. You guys can still hear me okay, right? All right. So let's go to HO scale. Let's go to Genesis, diesel locomotives, and we want to look at the SD75Ms. Here we go. And check it out. They are in stock. What was that part number I was looking for? Let's see. Well, this one's kind of cool. This is 51. Looks like it's in stock. This is a prime for grime example. That's kind of cool. Oh, man. It's already out of stock. So like I was saying, these just came into stock the other day, and this one's already gone. So I guess I can't order that one. Let me see what else I can order. What's this guy here? Ooh, this one's in stock. I think I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can get that. Yeah, we'll just do that. And through the magic of television, bam, there it is. Check that out. Now, you notice something for the BNSF fans out there in the shout out? We'll do this for today's shout out. I'll make it super easy for you because there's been so much going on lately. Let's just make it easy on everybody. For the BNSF fans or anybody, what's something that you notice about this locomotive that's not quite standard? It's a BNSF paint scheme, but what's up with that? First person to give me a shout out saying what's going on here. Because it's not quite what we're used to seeing on this type of locomotive. I'll try to keep this steady. I was going to post a picture of it, but nobody wants to just see a picture. They want to see the actual locomotive. I think this is cooler. Actually show you guys what we've got. I'm looking at Cornelli says, "Can you buy me a few too?" Yeah, my wife will find out. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Really nicely detailed. I mean, my camera does not do it justice, but you get an idea. Look at that. Nice cab interior. All the warning labels are there. I'm watching the comments. Black underframe, yeah. Daniel's coming back with this H3 scheme. I'm going to go with that because remember, BNSF, it seems like they've had more paint schemes than anybody I can think of. Most of the time, they're going to go with that like Heritage 2, the wide stripe. This one looks like the same scheme that they give the switchers or the yard switchers. It's the thin yellow stripe. So, yeah, it exists. And I mean, it's kind of a controversial paint scheme because, is it a Heritage 4? Is it a Heritage 3? I mean, think about it. When they first did these, they were still in the war bonnet, red and silver. And then they came out with the Heritage 1 and then the Heritage 2, and then they changed the color from the green to the black. And then, okay, what's that? A Heritage 3, and then now it's a Heritage 4. And some guys just simply call it the switcher scheme because most of the time this scheme is applied to the Spartan cab locomotives, not the wide cabs. There are exceptions, though. There's an SD60M out there running around in the same swoosh scheme like that. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Another one that we talked about was the GP7Us. The GP7Us had just come into stock last week. Let's see. Let's check those out. We'll go to Genesis diesel locomotives. And let's see. GP7. Scroll down here a little bit. Not seeing anything yet. Aha, what we got here? Looks like some GP7Us. Oh, I definitely want a Santa Fe one. Let me see. So many choices. I don't know which one. I don't know. Let's go with this one. And it's in stock. Awesome. That's we got lucky there because these have been out for only about a week or so. So, bam. These are cool. I mean, now this one's lettered for Santa Fe, of course. This is before ditch lights. But with a little bit of work, if you wanted to do early BNSF, late 90s, early 2000s, these definitely were on the BNSF roster. Very cool. In fact, something I wanted to tell you about this this particular locomotive, we've got a review that's going to be live. In fact, after this show tonight, about 5:30 Central Standard Time, check out our Facebook page. We've got a review, a brand new review on the Genesis GP7u. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you a little preview of that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and so I don't have the sound on it because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Later tonight, when you get home from work or you're past dinner, you want to take a look at this review. This is a really good review. This was done by Hybrid Hobby, and he's got a really great review. He talks about the prototype and actually found video of the actual locomotive, that actual one that he's reviewing there. So later tonight, be on the lookout for the Facebook post on Hybrid Hobby's review of the GP7u. It's a review that's about just about 10 minutes long or so. So it's a really concise review, really well done. And if you've been on the fence on picking up one of these GP7us, go ahead and look at his review and see what you think. But I think you guys are going to like it. It's a great little model. If you're looking for a nice little yard model or maybe an industrial switcher, we've offered them in a bunch of different road names. For myself, GP7s are kind of cool. They're not too big. They're not too small. And this is like the modern equivalent to it. A lot of these were given a second lease on life because of what Santa Fe did to them. So go ahead and check that out after the show. Like I said, you'll see it on your Facebook notifications. And really, really cool review and model. So last bit of housekeeping we've got is, this just came in actually. Let me get this in. Last week we talked a little bit about the parts. We've got a great customer service and parts department, and we are super busy getting requests done and things of that nature. And we just want to kind of go over some things, make it easier for you. We definitely want to take the frustration out of your hobby, and anything that we can do to make that better, we will. Let me go ahead and bring this screen up again because I've got some things to make things easier for you, and it'll make it easier for everybody. And that way you get back enjoying the hobby the way you should. I'm going to get myself out of here so you can see that. But one of the things you want to remember is, when you make your initial email contact, you need to provide the part number, not just the 3-digit number on the front of the diagrams that you get with your locomotives, but there's a 3-digit number that corresponds with another number on the back of the schematic, usually 5 to 8 digits. And we also need to know if it's a warranty replacement. If you just pick this up and it's a warranty item, we need to know that. Attaching a photo of the area, the part, the model, whatever, that also helps a lot. Now, additionally, our guys we need from you a name, an address, a telephone number. They might have a question and say, hey, we just want to verify this. We don't want to, send you the wrong item or have some type of miscommunication. So definitely put your phone number in there, your email address. Honestly, if you can't provide that stuff there, it just makes their job that much harder. So, like the old saying says, help us help you. And, those are some things that you're going to want to do should you need to take and use our customer service staff. And, actually that locomotive I just bought, those Genesis locomotives, we're all familiar with this. Your little owner's manual. A lot of great stuff in there. But you also have, this is the SD75. You also have this right here. Now my camera doesn't really do it justice, but this is what they're talking about. You can see that a lot of our platforms share the same parts, just like the real prototype does. Try to get as much information to them as possible. And if necessary, take a picture of it. I mean, it's an email. It's not going to cost any more. Essentially, what you want to do is try to give them as much information as possible. And if they do have a question, they can still contact you. Because trust me, we all want you guys to enjoy your hobby. And that is something that, will definitely help those guys out quite a bit and help you out in the end. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go rail fanning. And I figured since I've shown what? BNSF, I've shown Santa Fe. Figured let's go to California. Let's go to Barstow, California. It was a little busy earlier, so let's see how it's doing now. Yeah, of course. As soon as the guy with the live stream's on, there's nothing coming through. It's just a big yard. Very nice. Oh well. Well, that's all right. We've got time to do some questions and answers. So here's your point in the show. Go ahead, send me a question. I will answer it the best of my ability. And if I don't know, I can always go back to one of the guys on the Athearn team. We've got a bunch of guys on the team that are model railroad enthusiasts like myself. So if I don't happen to know the answer, somebody will. All right. That's a cool depot. Yeah, it is pretty cool. That is a pretty cool. Wayne Hawkins, do you have boxes? Well, specifically, what kind of boxes? Hey, there we go. There's a train. If you're asking for like the old blue boxes from a while ago, I would venture to say no. Now, let me know what kind of boxes you're looking for, just to clarify, and maybe I can help you out. Let's see. What do we got here? Daniel's got an interesting question. He says, why does Athearn discontinue items after one run? Well, in the old days, I used to ask this question too. In the old days, you could go down to your hobby shop and always get a Sioux Line GP fill in the blank, or a BN GP40 or what have you. You could always do that. The problem though with that is with the way things are done now. We found that we were able to serve the modeler better and do a better distribution, if you will. And that's why we do the pre-orders. We can do Sioux Line such and such, and I'm just using that as an example till the cows come home, but we might not sell any. Whereas nowadays we'll say, hey, you know what? We're going to do SD70M-2s. Should we do the Vermont Rail? Yeah, we should do the Vermont Rail. All right, let's see how many people want to do the Vermont Rail. And we see how many pre-orders we get, and that's what helps us. It also helps us to give you a quality locomotive at a good price. It's no different than going to your dealership of your choice or the manufacturer of your choice and ordering a new work truck or a new SUV for your family. You can sit there and order it. It hasn't been built yet, but it will be built. And like everything, just like other places, we do offer some that are not part of the pre-order, but we always encourage you to, if it's something that you're really, really interested in, to go ahead and put it on pre-order, because you will miss out. They do sell out quickly, and I'm saying that from experience. It has happened to me more than once. This train here is a little bit hidden right now. We're not going to get to really see much. All right. So, Matt, I'm going to put your question up there. It's a really good question while that train goes through. Will we ever see a run of the old MDC HON3 locomotives like the Shea and the 280 again? We have talked about it. It's one of those things we actually have not heard a lot of demand for it, and this is where that email address comes in handy that we were talking about last week. It's go ahead and put your vote in for that locomotive. If we get enough requests for it, then yes. Now, sometimes some of those older models require a little bit of engineering to get them up to today's standards. So it might take a while, but if we do get enough requests, then we certainly would bring something like that back if it's possible. Let's see. Some good questions out there today. Kevin, I'm not sure what you mean by get in touch with me, but definitely, depending on what your question is, use our email address. Mainly because Janik and I we see your comments, but it's hard for us to get back in that in this type of format. But definitely use our email address located on the contact us page at athearn.com. Let's see. Some new ones coming in. Kevin, you're asking about the rerun of the 282 mics. Yeah, haven't really heard anything solid about that. So, again, it's one of those things where if we get enough votes for it, it's something that we'll definitely consider. Joel's got an interesting comment or a suggestion. Genesis SD50 and also Genesis SD40s. How many would like to see those? That's pretty cool. Definitely, I can think of some road names we could do those SD50s in. Oh, okay. So the question about the boxes earlier, yeah, unfortunately, those I think we ran out of those quite some time ago. The old blue boxes, those are totally gone now, unfortunately. Genesis GP40-2s. I agree. One of the coolest paint schemes ever. David, he's got a request. He's like, Genesis SD60. We hear you, David. Definitely hear you. Steven wants to know, any update on the SW switchers? Not presently, no. We do hear you guys. We know you guys are looking for small switchers for maybe your industrial parts of your layouts or your switching layouts and things of that nature. So we have noticed, we have seen the comments, we've seen the emails that have come through. So we do know about it. We were talking earlier about some of the older models need to be updated a little bit to get to today's standards. That's probably one of the things that we're looking at, and probably why Janik's so busy. He is always up there. Kevin's got a vote here. I'll put this on the screen. SW8s or 1200s. Yeah, again, we see those comments, we see those emails. Definitely keeping track of that. Rick Simpson, his vote for for a switcher rather, the MP15 AC and Southern Pacific. Definitely. Are you guys thinking about or working on a new CF7 mold? Haven't heard of any word on that. I know that's a popular model that a lot of guys want to see come back out again. It's probably on that list of projects, but I have not heard anything other than that. All right, where was Mopac at? He's saying, hey, SD70 Ace run with heritage units with UP 1982 and 1988, please. Pretty please? Stay tuned. I just saw something here. And you guys have got some great ideas. I hope you're using the email that we got set up for you guys. Let's see. I see another comment here. I see a comment for Kodachrome. Yeah, Kodachrome is definitely another one of those paint schemes that would really look cool. Here's one that caught my attention. Yeah, nothing immediately. Not that I'm aware of. I saw another one that was really caught my interest. Rock Island SD70 Ace in the light blue paint scheme. The bankruptcy blue paint scheme? Well, one never knows. Sometimes the guys back there in R&D are working on so many super secret projects, and they won't tell me because they know I won't keep my mouth shut. I get as excited about this stuff as you guys do. So you never know what's going on back there. Once in a while, they'll leak something to us. Oh, hey, there we go. We got another one coming through. And I'll apologize too, just in case it sounds wicked echoey here. I'm in my new studio. I haven't retired the old one, but this is the new studio, and it's not quite done yet. So there might be a little bit of echoey there to it. If there is, I apologize. Hopefully that'll be better next week. Jason, why are there no pictures of new models on the website? It's still all artwork. People want to see the models. I agree. There's a couple of different reasons. Our photographer is working on those, and he has got a backlog of them. Just because, I hate to keep saying COVID because it sounds like an excuse, but it really isn't. It's just that because of the circumstances of the way COVID is, the original way we used to have a nice organized lineup of how we did our pictures, that's pretty much gone right now. We're all working from home. And so our photographer is trying as hard as he can to get those pictures up. And he's just got a lot of pictures to take. And if you can imagine what it's like to open a Genesis box, plus he gets, I think it's 8 pictures per Genesis locomotive, and then put it all back in the box again. Imagine not just one of those Genesis boxes, but imagine, say, 20 of those. And 20 of those is in one box, and that big box is a bunch of them. So we are working on them. We're hoping to get caught up here pretty soon. Let's see. Zach, I thought I saw a question there earlier, but I missed it. And one thing I wanted to let you know too is I don't know how many of you guys out there go to the Amherst show in Springfield, Mass every year. That's one of the bigger train shows in the country. It's a show for me that's probably one of my favorite shows because it's in my neck of the woods. I don't know how many of you guys go, but of course, that dirty C word again, COVID. They have basically their local laws and government have decided not to have anything to do with a public assembly like a train show. So unfortunately, they are not going to have their train show. But don't worry, The guys that organize that event, they will be doing a virtual Amherst train show. And of course, Athern's going to be there. Athern's one of the sponsors, and they'll be talking to me about some new stuff that's coming out. We've got some exciting releases that we're going to talk about, and of course, stuff that's in stock too, so you can go down and go ahead and get something new. And also be watching our Facebook page. We'll also be doing another virtual train show with Train World. And I believe that is going to be, we will be on board the 27th, which is a Wednesday. So, Zach, I'm sorry I missed you again. Okay, I'm going to put your, there we go. Sorry I missed it earlier, Zach. How about CM and Q, GP38-2, 3812, and just this summer they merged to CP. Zach, that's one of those things where if you've got some really good pictures, we'd want to see them. And it's definitely a possibility that we could perhaps do that. So what I would recommend is go to our email for new suggestions and attach some of the pictures and say, you'd be willing to work with one of our guys on R&D to make that happen. So definitely, it sounds interesting. And we'd love to see what kind of information you've got. Let's see. I hope the Amherst show comes back next year. I could not agree more. I mean, all the train shows are fun. We all have our favorites. That is probably my favorite, and it's just good to see everybody. I mean, we'll still have a virtual one this year, so you're going to be able to catch up on some of the cool stuff that's coming out. But I understand it's not the same as being there in person. Kevin, you want to know, is it on Facebook? So both virtual train shows, we'll be giving you more information on Facebook and Instagram, giving you details on those shows. The first one with Train World, that will be done on a Facebook Live type format. And the Amherst one, I believe they're doing it in a Zoom type format. So if you subscribe to the Facebook page, definitely keep your eyes open on that. There'll be more details, and we'll keep you posted on that. 27th for the first train show, which is with Train World. And then the last weekend in January is the Amherst train show. Oh, let's see. We'll take a few more questions, and then we're going to call it a night. Let you guys get back to some modeling. Let's see. So Malcolm's got a comment. Oh, sorry. It amazes me that the DD35s haven't been done since it would use the same as the DD40. Yeah, Malcolm, that's true. And it's one of those things where you've probably noticed in the last 10 years, even 20 years, things progress, and we keep making things better, just like the SD75M-2 that we showed you earlier that the team's been working on. It's probably one of those things that we do have in the hopper, if you will, to be improved. It's just somewhere on the list. Where it is on the list, I don't know. But don't give up hope. Eventually, you're probably going to come to a Train Tuesday or an announcement and see your favorite locomotive. It's kind of like I tell everybody. It's kind of like listening to the radio station. The song that's playing right now might not be your favorite. It's somebody's favorite. It might not be yours. But the next song that comes up on the radio, that might be the favorite one that you like. So it's kind of like that. Let's see. There's some great comments and questions out here today. Some good stuff out here. I'm trying to choose the best ones. Daniel's saying that the Amherst show is always on his birthday. That's a cool birthday present. I would like that. A fake North Pole Central F7 set. So, in all seriousness, I mean, we haven't done a train set for a while. I mean, how many would be interested in a train set, maybe to give as a gift to a younger family member that you'd like to get into trains. Maybe you just want something to run under your tree. Let us know. Something that we haven't really done that in a year or two. And we don't really want to do it unless we know you guys are looking for something like that. Boy, a lot of us got started with train sets. So it would not be a hard no for us to not do that. And those F7s do actually make pretty good locomotives for train sets. Let's see. Camera was acting like it saw something, but maybe not. So getting some more votes on the train sets. Okay, that's good to know. Definitely something that we can take into consideration. And that's one of those things where, you might have somebody in your family that's, likes to watch you operate on your layout, but you're like, I don't know if I really want them handling my Genesis GP40-2. Well, this would be a great way to get them involved. Got something coming up through the yard here, real slow. Can't quite make it out on my screen. It's too small. Jeffrey's got a question. If we did come out with a train set, do you think it would come with a DCC ready engine? That's a possibility. I mean, that's getting to be more and more common, especially through the Athearn line. Very, very much so more common. We got a vote for, let's see, from Malcolm. He says the U-30Cs in Genesis would be great, or any U-boats of that era would be great. That's a great suggestion. One that we've heard. So, like I said, if we get some, we get enough comments in our email that we put up a couple of weeks ago. One last thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. A quick shout out. How many of you guys have purchased the Genesis ICC cabooses? We did the CB&Q, we did some Santa Fe, where we got some UP ones out there. Be on the lookout on your if you're part of the Athearn email list. Also look at social media. We're going to have a survey out there because, again, we want to hear from you. Athearn isn't my company. It's not. Oh, there we go. He's going right through. Nice. Athearn's not my company. It's not Janek's company. At the end of the day, Athearn is you. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you think about things. We're always constantly trying to make things better. And in order for us to do that, we want to hear from you. So take a few minutes. If you purchase one of those cabooses and you see that survey, go ahead and fill that out and let us know your honest opinions on some of the questions on that. It just makes it easier for us to build the models that you guys are looking for. So that's something to look out for. And I thought I saw one more question. Somebody bought 5 cabooses. I just went flying by. David, thank you for that. I mean, you must have a pretty impressive fleet. Pretty nice layout, too. All right. So as always, watch our Facebook, watch our Instagram. We've got some exciting stuff coming in the year. We've got some new reviews coming out from all over the country and Canada. We're trying to make things easier for you as the modeler. We're definitely trying to make it so that, in this time of the pandemic where you can't see us at the shows, you can actually somewhat approach us. This is one way that we get to talk and spend time together. But you can also email us. You can contact us. Remember what I said about the customer service guys. They are super busy. But give them as much information as possible. Make it easy for them to get those parts to you so you can get to running trains once again. So we're going to do this again next week, next Tuesday at 3:30 Central Time. And on that note, it looks like Jason says, man, do some chessies. and put the window screens on those chassis. That's the kind of stuff we need to know. So, Jason, if you see that caboose survey, go ahead, fill it out. Let us know. We need to hear this stuff from you guys. I want you all to be have a great week. Do some great modeling while you can. Be happy, be healthy, and like every week, high greens, everybody. Have a great week. Take care.